everybody, good morning. Welcome, my name is Jenna. I'm your certified prenatal yoga teacher, birth doula, and trauma-informed yoga teacher and trainer. Today, I'm going to guide you through a 15-minute morning practice. This practice is designed to get you up, get you out of bed, get you moving, and of course, this practice is safe for all trimesters. Whether you're 6 weeks pregnant or 6 weeks postpartum, this practice is for you. As a reminder, everything I'm offering today is an option, so feel free to do what feels best for your body, make choices based on how you're feeling today. If you'd like to join me, we'll go ahead and get started in a seated position. I'm sitting cross-legged, but know that you can sit however it feels okay for you. I'm also sitting up on a cushion. Elevating your hips slightly above the knees can help open your hips, and it might help you find a more lengthened spine. I'll invite you to close your eyes if that feels safe for you. Allowing your attention to go inward. Allowing yourself to be open to this new day ahead of you. If you find your mind wandering off into what you need to do today, running over to-do list, or perhaps getting caught in what you may have done yesterday, I'll invite you to let all of that go and guide your attention inward by focusing your mind on the simplicity of breathing. Sending your breath down into your diaphragm, down into your rib cage, and allowing your ribs to broaden and expand as you inhale, filling your belly with air. And then allowing your belly to soften as you let that air go. Again, sending your breath down into the ribs, letting them widen, allowing them to expand as your belly fills with air. Slowly releasing and letting that air go. Giving yourself a few rounds of diaphragmic breath. Breathing at your own pace. Breathing with intention. If this feels okay for you, I'll invite you to keep on breathing. But know that if this breath does not feel supportive, you can pause at any time. Whenever you feel ready, you can start to let all of that go and let yourself come back to a breath that feels more natural, less controlled. If your eyes are closed, I'll invite you to slowly open your eyes. And then interlace your fingers and flip your palms forward. Reach your palms forward to lengthen out your arms, and then reach your arms up towards the sky. Allow your heart, your ribs to come forward as you find a small sway or arch in your back. And then draw your navel in towards your spine. Push your palms forward to round your back. Let your shoulder blades move further apart on your back. Let your shoulders push forward. And then inhale, draw the belly, the ribs forward. See if you can lift your heart as we find a cow spine. And then exhale, press your palms forward, round through your back. Cow spine. Inhale to cat. And exhale to cow. I'll invite you to keep this going for 2 more cycles of breath. Inhale, reach your palms up towards the sky, find length in your spine, allow yourself to grow as tall as you can, and then gently release your hands, roll out your wrists as you start to float your arms all the way down. Gently guide your right palm down to your mat, reach your left arm up and over for a side body stretch. And continue that motion with the left arm as you start to find circles here through the shoulder girdle, through the arm. Then as you feel ready, sweep yourself forward, let the left palm come to the mat, reach your right arm up and over. Same thing, a few circular rotations here with your right arm, your right shoulder, opening through your side body, opening through the shoulder. And then repeat that, reach to the right side. This time let your motion of the circle move in the opposite direction. If you can remember which way you went, it's usually the way that feels a little more awkward. And then switch sides, sweep over to the left, go ahead and reverse that circular rotation. Continuing to let the breath be present with you. And then reach both arms up. I'll invite you to take a deep breath in. And then let out an audible sigh. And circle the wrists, float the arms down. Gently guide your chin down towards your chest, allowing your head to hang heavy. And then if it feels okay, start to roll your left ear towards your left shoulder and continue to let the head roll all the way back and over to the right, finding a circular rotation with the neck. If full circles don't feel so great on your neck, then feel free to make half circles, rolling your head from side to side. So if that first option doesn't feel supportive or not like what you need today, you're more than welcome to take half circles here with the neck. And we're just inviting in some movement into the neck, so it doesn't so much matter how you're moving here. Letting your breath flow with you. And then when you feel ready, you can bring your head back upright. Give yourself a moment to pause. If you'd like to join me, I'll invite you to breathe in with me and to breathe out. Let's go ahead and transition onto our hands and knees. So moving any cushions or props out of your way. Of course, you're more than welcome to put a blanket under your knees for more support. And we come to a tabletop shape. For some folks, it might feel better to actually have your wrist slightly forward of your shoulders. Let your knees open a little bit wider and bring your bum to your heels as you find child's pose. I'll invite you to press your palms down into your mat and find a more active child's pose so your arms are lengthened. And then tuck your toes under, lift your hips, and guide your hips up and back to a down dog. Feel free to take your feet a little bit wider and to even soften your knees, making space for your back. And by widening the feet, making space for your baby. Very slowly start to inhale and roll yourself forward into plank. And then drop your knees down and sit back to child's pose. So I'll invite you to continue through this series of movement, tucking your toes, lifting your hips to downward dog. And then inhaling to roll forward to plank and drop the knees to child's. So this little round of transitions here will serve as our prenatal, pregnant version of a vinyasa flow. You can take this fast, you can take it slow. If you're wanting to elevate your heart rate a little bit more, then you might move a little bit faster. But of course, move at a speed that feels right for your body. And then the next time that you're in downward dog, I'll invite you to stay in your downward dog. And then from your downward dog, bend your knees, look forward, and start to walk your feet forward into a wide stance. Keeping a soft bend in the knees, the heaviness of the head. With an inhale, lift up about halfway, flattening your back. And with an exhale, round forward. As you inhale, slowly come up through your spine. Let your arms reach out and up. And as you exhale, guide your hands down to your heart center. We come to stand in Tadasana. I'm taking a rather wider stance of Tadasana as this feels better in my body, but you can choose what feels best for you, to have your feet closer together or further apart. Feel free to close your eyes for a moment, adjusting from being on the ground to standing, giving our blood some time to circulate through the body. When you're pregnant, there's a lot more blood in your body, so it takes a little bit more time to move through your body. With your next inhale, let your arms sweep out and up. As you exhale, fold forward, hinging from your hips. With an inhale, lift up about halfway, flattening your back. And as you exhale, guide your hands down to your mat or down to blocks if you have them. And step your left foot back. Drop your left knee down, untuck your toes, and then sweep your arms high to a crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Allowing your pelvis to move forward as your heart lifts high. I'll invite you to breathe in here as you root down into your feet. And as you exhale, sending your hips forwards just so slightly. One more breath here. With an exhale, guide your hands down to your mat or down to your blocks. You can bring your right knee around to meet your left knee, and we'll take a vinyasa. So let your toes tuck under, send your hips high as you inhale. As you exhale, roll forward to plank, knees drop back to child's pose. You're more than welcome to stay in child's pose or repeat that vinyasa transition a couple more times. I'll give everybody a moment here to decide what they need. And then when you're ready, we'll all meet back up in a downward facing dog. As you inhale, let your right leg lift high. As you exhale, bring your right foot in between your hands. Feel free to use your right hand to guide your foot forward. And then rise all the way up to a high lunge. Feel free to bend your back knee a little if that's more supportive, allowing your fingertips to lengthen to the sky. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, spin your back heel down for warrior two, aligning your front heel to the arch of your back foot, and then bending into your right knee any amount as you find a steady gaze out over your right hand. I'll invite you to be here for 2 more breaths with me. And then finding your way into side angle. This could look like a hand to your thigh as your left arm reaches up and over your ear, or it could look like an elbow to your thigh. I'll invite you to send your gaze up and under your left armpit and breathe. Very carefully start to sweep your left hand down. You might take your blocks with you as you crawl your hands forward into a wide angle forward fold. Find a nice flat back as you inhale, lifting up about halfway. And then as you exhale, you can let your head release. You might come down to your elbows on blocks like me. You might take your hands down to your mat. Feel free to shift and switch your hips from side to side. This shape allows the back of the pelvis to open. And then carefully ground your hands down to your mat or down to your blocks. Walk your hands over to your right foot and then turn your right toes out. Spin your left heel up and then soften your left knee down. We find lizard lunge. So allow your hips to melt forward any amount as you bring your heart forward. I'll invite you to breathe in with me here. And as you exhale, you can carefully bring your right knee back around to meet your left knee. I'll invite you to take a few rounds of hip circles here, letting the hips circle or sway. And then we'll try all of that on the other side. Draw your toes under, send your hips up and back. Find a bend in your knees, look forward, and start to walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Find a half lift as you inhale, and as you exhale, round forward. With an inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, take your time. Then exhale, hands come down to heart center. I'll invite you to breathe in with me here and to breathe out. With an inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Then as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. As you exhale, guide your hands down to your mat or blocks and bring your right foot behind you. Soften your right knee down, untuck your toes, and let your arms sweep high into a crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. I'll invite you to root down into your feet to find balance and stability in this shape. And if it feels okay, you might start to send your pelvis forward ever so slightly as you lift your heart high, opening through the front of your body. Take a breath in. As you exhale, release your hands down to your mat. Let your left knee come back to meet your right knee. And then feel free to hang out in child's pose. You're welcome to go straight there. Or you might take a prenatal vinyasa, down dog to plank to child's. Repeating that as many times as you like, or hanging out in child's pose for a couple of breaths. Checking in, feeling your heart beating. If you're like me, you might feel a little more winded. You might find yourself getting out of breath a little bit more quickly when you're pregnant, as your body has a lot more oxygen that it has to deliver to your growing baby. When you feel ready, let's all find our way back to downward facing dog. And with an inhale, lift your left leg high. As you exhale, bring your left foot forward. Feel free to use your hand to help step it forward. And then rise up to your high lunge. Feel free to soften the back knee a little if that feels better on your lower back. Find a breath in. As you exhale, spin your back heel down, aligning your front heel to the arch of your back foot, and we find Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. Bending into your left knee any amount or as much as you can. When you feel ready, transitioning to side angle pose. That's your left hand to your thigh or your elbow down to your thigh, creating a long line from your right hand down to your right heel. Breathe in here. Sweep your right arm forward. You might take your blocks with you as you come into a wide angle forward fold. Hands can be on blocks, they might be on your mat. Feel free to shift your hips from side to side. When you feel ready, walk your hands over to your left foot, turn your left toes out. Soften your right knee down. We're in lizard lunge, allowing your hips to come forward any amount here. Your heart to lift high, a big breath in. As you exhale, bring your hips back, bring your left knee to meet your right knee. And we'll come to sit back in child's pose. If you have blocks or a cushion or pillow, you might enjoy a block under the chest and a block under your forehead, or a pillow that rests underneath your torso to offer a little more support in this shape. Taking this time to let your heart rate come down. to let your energy come down. I'll invite you to take this time to come back to those slow diaphragmatic breaths, breathing into the ribs, sending breath into the belly, letting all the air out as you soften. Slowly inhaling, slowly exhaling. One more breath here. Slowly, in your own timing, start to walk your hands back towards your knees, taking your time to lift your head back up, remembering there's a lot more blood traveling through your body. And we'll come to sit back in the heels in Vajrasana. If sitting back on the heels is not supportive for you, I'll invite you to put a block or two, or a cushion, if you have them, in between your ankles, and let your sit bones rest on those blocks. And if it's okay for you, if it feels supportive, you might place a hand down on your belly and a hand on your heart. Grounding our palms into our body is a simple way to help ground your energy. Again, if you're feeling a bit out of breath, like I am, taking some time to let the oxygen come back and circulate through your body. Sending a little belly rub or sending some love to your growing baby. For those mamas that are postpartum, maybe sending a little bit of love to your belly, all of the work that it did. All of the work that it did to help create space to grow your baby. You're more than welcome to stay here for a couple more breaths. If you're someone that would like to enjoy a heart opener or a bit of a back bend, then carefully guide your fingertips behind you, leaning back any amount. You might find that you come down to the whole palm of your hand. You might find that you stay up on your fingertips like me. A lift of the heart, an opening of the belly. If you're postpartum and you've had a C-section, this may not be the best for you right now to stretch the muscles this much. So if this does not feel okay, then feel free to come back to this first option here. Only taking this second option if it feels okay to find length in your belly, your abdominal muscles. And then carefully guide yourself back up, roll back up through the spine, bring your head back over your shoulders, taking a breath in and a breath out. If you're on blocks, you can lift up and off of your blocks, and you can come to sit back down on your bottom now. And we'll let the knees come to open as the bottoms of the feet come together into butterfly, Baddha Konasana. Feel free to stay upright. You might enjoy being here, especially if your belly is a little bit bigger, if your baby is a little bit larger. You may not enjoy folding forward so much. If you do want to fold forward, then we'll go for it. Let the head fall forward. You can round through your back. Folding forward any amount here. Letting your shoulders hang heavy. Releasing through the lower back. And then gently roll back up your spine. Let your head come up last. You can draw your knees back in together. I'm going to make like a zigzag shape with my legs, or a pinwheel shape. So my right knee is going to fall open. I'm going to swing my left leg behind me and find a connection of knee to right foot here. Come forward as much as you can, and then find a gentle twist, bringing your left hand over to your knee and opening your chest towards the right. I'll invite you to breathe in with me here. And to breathe out. And another breath in. And a breath out. Feel free to stay here in your twist, or feel free to come back to the center, and you might enjoy leaning back here. I know I enjoy leaning back here as this opens up my hip flexors, my hip creases. For some people, that can be an area that feels a little bit tight as you get pregnant. And then carefully come back upright. Let's switch sides. So guiding your left knee forward, your right leg behind you, connecting knee to foot here. First, finding a twist, guiding your right hand towards your left knee and gently opening your chest over to the left. Couple breaths here. You're more than welcome to stay in this twist. If you're like me, you might enjoy a little recline as you come back to the center and leaning back any amount here. Breathing here. And then gently guiding yourself back upright. We'll start to prepare for Shavasana, our final resting shape. So if you're working with blocks today, you can reach for your blocks. I'm gonna lie down on my side. You're more than welcome to lie however you choose. If you're still in the beginning of your pregnancy and lying down on your back feels good, then feel free to lie down on your back. If you are a little bit further along in your pregnancy, it might be better to lay down on your side. So I'm coming to lie down on my left side with a block under my head and then a block in between my knees. You're more than welcome to replace these blocks with pillows or cushions. And if you don't have any props, you're more than welcome to just lay on your side and find a position that brings rest to your body. I'll invite you all to stay here for the next few minutes, allowing your body to get heavy on the ground, to let the ground support the weight of your body. Giving you all some time to take in a little bit of silence. Know that I'm still here, but my voice will go quiet for a moment as I give you these few minutes to find stillness, to find quiet. I'd like to invite you to bring your attention back to your breath. Maybe find a little wiggle or a little bit of movement in your body. For For anyone lying down on their back, carefully roll over to your side, finding a fetal position. And from the fetal position, press down into your hands and bring yourself all the way up to find a seat that feels supportive. As we bring our practice to a close, I'll invite you to take a big breath in as you reach your arms high. And as you exhale, guiding your palms together in a prayer position down to your heart, gently bowing your forehead towards your hands. We give thanks to our body for everything it does each day. And we give thanks to the many, many teachers of yoga for passing down this ancient wisdom. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. Again, my name is Jenna. I am also pregnant. I'm on this journey with you, so feel free to ask me any questions, leave a comment below. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can find out, be notified when the next videos will get released. Thanks so much for practicing with me today, and have a beautiful rest of your morning and hopefully a great start to your day.